So on to Matt. This is a good example of exactly what I'm talking about. He's opining on the subject of extraterrestrial life and extraterrestrial intelligence, and we've had this argument before. This is where you've got to say things, in my humble opinion, are my useless, completely meaningless opinion, because there's no fucking way you can affirm the existence of such things, because every fact we have indicates that that existence is rare at best. I mean, that's the at best conclusion you could draw. Because just because of the circumstantial truth that we can't even build ourselves a reproducing fucking molecule. With all our science and technology, we haven't been able to create a reproducing biological machine that can survive in any kind of realistic environment. And so, from scratch. So that demonstrates that whatever those little unique circumstances were of pressure and temperature and chemistry that allowed for the first cellular reproducing, capable organism to manifest, those were an incredibly bizarre circumstances. They don't happen all the fucking time, because we can't. Not only do they don't happen by accident, you don't put a cup on the table and all of a sudden a new life form grows out of it. We can't even make it happen on purpose. It's so unusual a circumstance. It's almost like building a diamond or something. You have to have the right pressure and the right temperature, to pull all the impurities out of the carbon and make them arrange just right, all the molecules, to create this thing called a diamond. And it's like life has the same unique circumstances that have to exist for this thing, this reproducing molecule, to have a mechanism to do its thing as a reproducing life form. And so that's the reality of the circumstances. Then when you pile on top of that the fact that we've kind of found out that there's this, it's kind of important for chemistry to happen, for complex chemistry to happen. Yes, planets have to be in the right place. Mercury is not very complex in its chemistry on its surface, and then you get further out in the atmosphere, the chemistry also gets kind of, it's big chemistry, but there's not a lot of little chemistry going on. There's big giant clouds of gases, but there isn't this great deal of complex molecules being formed. And that, so you have to have these little niche planets to even have the possibility of this life thing happening. And then even once you have the life thing, the whole argument about of intelligence grows out of it. We've had 4 billion years of evolution, and we're the first ones who wrote a book. Okay, we're the first organism that did that. So intelligence obviously doesn't fucking just arise. I mean, it's not the it's not nature's or evolution's first inclination to make a brainiac who's contemplating the universe. Its first inclination is to build the big giant teeth and claws for consuming, and big teeth and big penises. I mean, it's all about eating and fucking. I mean, that's nature. That's the DNA molecule's agenda, and it really doesn't give a shit about contemplating universes. And so this big brainy stuff isn't necessarily a likely manifestation of natural selection. And we know from our own history, the fact that we had a big brain 70,000 years before we had any books to read is kind of a weird circumstance. And so maybe intelligence doesn't happen too fucking often either. We don't even know how. Well, whatever. Let's go through the complexity of each sense that we acquired before we can even get to a fucking brain. And then the invention of consciousness by natural selection. We haven't even gotten to that. How rare and bizarre it would be to have that right chemistry to create that syndrome. So, well, anyway, probably going too long again. Another 2 parts. Sorry about that. But the bottom line is it's not a question we have. Nobody can answer that question about life in the universe, other life, affirmatively, or like say yes, it's likely, or any positive statement, because all the facts we have indicate all the negatives. The odds against it are the things that seem quite apparent. The thing we don't know is it 7 million to 1 odds, or is it 7 gazillion to 1 odds? I mean, was it 2 or 3 lightning strikes at just the right time in a row, or was it 7 billion lightning strikes all in the same place at the same moment in time? We just don't know how rare it is. All we know is that it's got to be fucking rare. Okay? It's not. That's the only thing we know for sure is it's got to be rare. We don't know how preposterously rare we are. We won the lottery, so to speak. And so sitting here won the lottery, we don't know whether we won a 1 in 8 million lottery, or a 1 in 8 billion lottery, or a 1 in 8 trillion lottery. Okay? All we know is that we won the fucking lottery. Alright? And so that distorts our perspective. And so our first, it might be an inclination to say, wow, winning the lottery is easy. Okay? Because we won it. But we could see that that's an obvious psychological trap to fall into. Okay? Because we're allowing our personal circumstance to fuck up our judgment. And so this is a perfect example of where if you're going to say life exists in the fucking universe, other life, yeah, you got to be fucking humble about that, because all the facts indicate the opposite. That this is at least a 1 in 8 million lottery. It's not something fucking easy. And it could be a 1 in 8 trillion lottery. Or a 1 in infinity, circumstance. It could be that we are it forever and ever. And that would be, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, something to take a sigh of relief in contemplating that, this, this dangerous circumstance only happened once. Yeah, okay. It makes me feel better to think that. So here's hoping, okay, for that one. Alright, so I'll be a little bit subjective and express that my subjective self would be relieved by that perception. Because frankly, what the game we're in here is really fucked up and really fucking dangerous, and the fact that all you fuckers can't take it seriously is profoundly irritating, in my humble opinion.